Hello, welcome back. I have a tag video for you today. It's been a little while since I've done a tag, and my last tag video was really long. And after I made it, I felt a little bit guilty about how long it was, asking people to watch something that was 57 minutes long. So maybe this one will be quite a bit shorter. This is the Answer Can't Be Books tag. It was created by, let me see, BookBuds. I saw this on Mike's channel, Bibliophile Bookscape, and also Andrew's channel, You Could Be Reading More. If somebody tagged me, it's possible someone tagged me for this, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't go back and look at my tags. And so if you did tag me and I didn't mention you, I apologize for that. And we'll just get into it. Number 1, what is something that you own way too many of other than books? So my first answer for this was actually staplers. I have 7 staplers, I think, but some of them are they're classic, right? It's a collection of classic staplers, antique staplers over the past 100 years or so, and they're not in my way. I have 4 or 5 radios, different radios from over the past 50 years or so, and they're in my way, actually. You can't tell, but they're down here in between this cabinet and this bookshelf, and a couple of them anyway, and they just take up space because all of my shelves are reserved for books. And I used to put them on the shelves. I just took them down for some reason and never put them back up. But the real answer to this question, when I sat here and thought about it, was not books. I was going to say books. I have too many books. I have too many coats and too many jackets. I went through a phase where I was collecting coats and jackets, just buying lots of them for very cheap prices, and I've been buying them for 20 years almost, and so I have lots and lots of them, but they do take up a lot of room in my closets, and I don't wear all of them, and some of them I just can't wear anymore. But I've been meaning to sell some of them. It's just kind of a hassle that I tend to forget about. Number 2, what is something other than reading that you do for fun? I guess I could paraphrase the dude's answer from The Big Lebowski. I like to drive around, write, the occasional acid flashback. I do write a lot, though. I write every day. I don't know if I would say that I write for fun, though, because it's just so ingrained in me to write. I write everything. I write lists, I write notes, I have like a journal, an ongoing like stream of consciousness thing I do sometimes. So I write a lot, but I really do like to get out and drive around. I have a bunch of different music playlists, and I just love to go and drive around. And I think sometimes, I know that I go to bookstores a lot, and I think a lot of times, not just bookstores, but thrift stores and that sort of thing, I think a lot of times I just like to go and get in the car and drive from one place to another and listen to music on the way, right? And look at the sights. I think I really just enjoy doing that. It's a bit harder now because gas is $2 more than it was 2 months ago. And so over the past, I'm not sure exactly 9 months or so, I have been getting back into photography after about a 14-year hiatus. And that also contributes to my driving around, or maybe I think that it is just an addition to my driving around, because now I have an excuse to go other places than bookstores and things like that. I can just drive off to the woods or someplace and take pictures of things. And I'm finally kind of getting to the point now where I have learned my camera well enough that I really don't have to think about it very much anymore. So my pictures are starting to get better than they were when I started back. And that's a really interesting process, but it all really hinges on driving around and going places, because there's not really a lot within walking distance of my house. Number 3, what is something special or important on your nightstand other than books? So there's really not much on my nightstand other than books. There's a lamp, there's books, there are a couple of different notebooks. There is a mug filled with pens, pencils, and bookmarks, and that is it. That's really it. except for some of those little sticky book tags, you know, that you put on quotes and that sort of thing. And overall, I really don't spend all that much time in my bedroom. I spend most of my time up here. And when I do finally get around to going to bed, most of the time I'm just so tired that I just pretty much lay down and go to sleep now. Used to, I would sit up in bed and read for several hours, but I don't know what it is, but over the last couple of months, I just go and I lie down in bed and it's like, that's it. The day is over right at that moment, which is kind of frustrating because I've kind of had to readjust my whole schedule around that. Question number 4. What is something that you buy at a bookstore other than books? At an actual bookstore, like I can't remember the last time I bought something at an actual bookstore that was not a book. So I guess in my case, nothing. I sometimes I go to like a couple of half-price books and they always have like toys and board games and that sort of thing. And sometimes they have models and different little things they're trying to sell. But I really can't remember the last time I bought anything. Last year, around the time of my birthday, I went into one and they had, I don't know if anybody will remember this, but like 15 years ago, there was a real big trend where the phrenologist heads came back, like the ceramic or porcelain phrenologist heads. And I always wanted one when I was younger. They were really, really expensive. And so you could get like a small one for like $30 or something like that. But I always wanted the big one. And it was way too expensive. They used to sell those at Joseph Beth bookstore in Lexington. And I never had the money to get one, or I was never willing to trade off the money for the head as in regard to the other things that I could get. So anyway, I went into this half-price books and they had a full-size head. And like, I wanted it so bad. It was $20 or something like that, $25. And I walked around there for like an hour and a half just thinking, well, I should buy that head. And I didn't. And the reason is really that I'm not all that visual of a person. And so I think that I would appreciate something like that for a little while and then just kind of it would blend into the background. That's usually what happens. So I didn't buy that. And that is why I don't buy a lot of things like that anymore, just because I noticed them for a while and then I just kind of don't anymore. Question number 5. What is a fun gift you've received that wasn't a book or book gift card? So this is probably the most recent fun gift that I got. And my mom got me this. My little brother, he's 11. They got me the van from Dumb and Dumber. And I just thought that was really funny. It's really shiny on the camera. I hope you can see it. And I just thought that was a lot of fun. It made me laugh, and I really did appreciate that. I used to watch Dumb and Dumber a lot when I was a kid. It was on TV all the time. I don't know, it's probably not anymore, but in the early 2000s, it was like you just had to turn on a TV and Dumb and Dumber would be on one of the channels. Question number 6. What is a YouTube channel that you watch that's not related to books? I'm going to go with, I think it's Sandwiches of History. There's a guy named Barry, and he has been making a different sandwich almost every day for several years now. And he finds these sandwich recipes in these really, really old cookbooks, 100 years old, 140 years old. And it's really interesting to see what sandwich he's going to come up with today. He makes really short videos, 1, 2, 3 minutes usually. And some of the sandwiches people would put in these cookbooks, it almost makes you think that they were just sitting there going, I need something else to put on this cookbook, and they would just stick it in there. And these recipes are so weird, and some of them are just really, really bad. Some of them sound really good, but it's just always interesting to see what today's sandwich is going to be. I've been watching his channel for a few years now, and I always enjoy it. I don't even really eat sandwiches anymore. It's just really interesting to see what what he comes up with today. And question number 7 is, or it's prompt really, tag 5 booktubers that you want to learn more about. And if I remember to do that, I will do that. Not very good about tagging people sometimes, but I want to thank Mike and Andrew for making these videos, and then I watched them, and then I made this video inspired by their videos. And I want to thank BookBuds for creating this tag, and I had a fun time, and I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.